people that I know don't have my best interest at heart, but I'm like, just to save face, I'm gonna go ahead and grit my teeth and hug you. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with with you letting them kiss your hand.
Yeah, darling.
Yeah, hey, look, Sophia Loren did it with her passing ass.
Ooh.
Hollywood's first sophisticated lady, the most classiest out of all of the actresses. How do you get to be the classiest of the classy?
Mm.
Gotta have some soul in your blood, baby.
Right?
It's natural, right? The noble character it betrays the royal blood.
They're saying kiss the ring.
Yeah. Look. And then you let your family know that if there's got somebody with them that you don't want to hug, you ain't hugging nobody. Your family already know what's up.
They really do.
They won't feel no type of way because they know that you don't just want no any old body infected you with their rotten ass energy. Let them kiss you. Curtsy. And let them kiss your hand.
You said curtsy.
Yeah. Hit him with an Abel Gabor, darling.
I love it, darling.
Look, ain't nowhere I've read a whole bunch of books of life and I haven't seen where it was ordered for nobody to be an ass kisser. It's not in nobody's book of life. Some people behave like it's in there, but it's not even in theirs. They just behave that way. Brown nose and the shoe shuffling for somebody to look at them and give them some favor. Don't give me no favor. I'm gonna find me a way.
Somebody said this. I'm gonna take this person up on their comment. Her Grace Empress Kia Pruitt. Darling.
Yeah, you ain't got don't mix your energy. Don't let them people contaminate your energy. Especially when you coming from the true place and the pure heart with no ill intentions, and you feel that nope, that's your ancestors telling you don't you touch that motherfucker. Don't let him be rubbing his nasty ass heart chakra up against your purified energy.
Ooh, wee.
So you get seduced by vampires, blood sucking haters. All vampires don't suck blood, some suck energy.
Wow. Wow.
They see you in a good mood, they ain't happy till you get pissed off.
True.
And you got people that live in the house with them and call them husband and wife.
Preach.
If it get peaceful around there, they unrest sets in. That's not normal. People think it's normal.
Yeah, they do.
But their relationships is based on slave system. That's why they think the marriage license give them the right to own the other person. I signed that paper, I own your ass. No, you don't.
That's what I did learn that the marital contract is a contract between the two entities, and the state and God is nowhere in that contract.
Not at all. The tribal marriages is always for a reason. The love is the added bonus. Okay. But normally they arranged. In the people arrangement, they know the character and the nature of the persons that they arranging the marriage with. Okay. So they know that based on how this person operate, based on how that person operate, and they move in a similar, they'll make a good couple. Right? They'll be a strong, powerful parental unit to usher in a matriarchal with a controlled patriarchal presence. Because the whole thing under the matriarchy, the patriarchs is not as nice as they is now. They sissified under the patriarchy. They become more aggressively protective of the women and the children under the matriarchy. Really? They become more calculated and more focused on functional relationships under the matriarchy. And it allows the woman to shift out of war mode and shift into love mode. And it settles the temperatures and the weathers of the earth, and it becomes more tropical around the planet. The energetic shift is the golden age. So as it ramps up, you will see that the winters in the north will be less cold and shorter duration, and the summers will be less hot and unbearable, and they'll start normalizing to a similar temperature, and deserts will start to spring up grass and trees. And we gonna help it, because one of the programs that I can't wait for is the reforestation of the fruit forests. All of the children and tribes, and they have a tribal elders that bring them in the summertime or the springtime, and we just plant trees for a couple weeks at the beginning of every spring. And then if somebody get lost in that forest, they can eat damn near anything in there.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Do you foresee that happening in our lifetime, Chief?
Well, you already have some people doing it on a smaller scale.
Okay.
There's a lady in Arizona that's doing it, she's turning desert into lush food producing environment, and it's working. It's working. It works. We know it works.
You mentioned earlier that we're all, many of us are about to become wealthy. Can you speak on that a little bit? Like, where's that wealth coming from? How do you know this?
So, okay, so in the Indigenous Rights Act, they gave us all of the wealth back.
Okay.
It's written. It's in ink. All we had to do was identify it to activate it under the oral tradition.
Okay.
So it's been identified, and the fact that the United States Treasury moved to tribal land is a significant moniker to tell us that the tribes is in control of the currency.
Okay.
Now we got to switch from Federal Reserve notes over to United States Treasury notes.
Okay.
And the person that they have to contact who has the banking codes in their DNA is Empress Rarebird. Once they get ready to activate the new system, they have to use her genetic code to unlock the combination lock. They already told her that. It's all in the DNA.
That reminds me of Princess Elizabeth, a person that I interviewed a couple of times that said the same for her in the Philippines. And it's this kind of stuff, like, we've never been taught this.
But it's true, though. It's true.
Okay.
Okay, so you got 12 regions. The Philippines and a lot of those Pacific islands, they have a series of big mamas, right? Or clan mothers. And then they all among themselves have one with the blood that's closer to the matriarch that founded that settlement over there. And she becomes the blood heir. They've been knowing who we was for the whole time. They've never been asleep to who we was. We just didn't know.
Right. Okay.
They followed all of the chosen ones. The ones that they can convince one of us to kill got murdered. Right? The goal was to always keep the leadership down. Stop them from having competent leaders. And when a competent leader come up, if you can't kill them, because some of us is persona non grata, hands off, you can't touch them. Right? And some of us, they got a period of time where we touchable, but if they don't recognize us as the budding chief, and we get to reach a certain age, now we persona non grata, they can't touch us. Because they got to give the next generation of chiefs the opportunity to look over the history records and determine who we are versus who they are, and if you can see the difference in two people operating as one group of people with two different agendas. Right? And I didn't show people videos of them in the gated communities talking about us bad. They don't want us nowhere around them. But People think that they us because they look like us. But they ain't us. You don't believe me? Ask Kendrick. He'll tell you they're not like us.
They not like us. There's a book out that one of my professors had us to read, and he was a well-known Boulay member, and it was called Our Kinds of People. And it was about elite people that look like us, but they let you know we don't mess with y'all folk.
Yeah, well, you got to remember that they have melanated people like us coming from foreign places that's classified as white in this government. Okay. It was a big deal about an Arab guy who sued them because he ain't want them to look at him as separate from us. He wanted to be looked at, I'm going to be black too. Wow. All the people over there look like me, y'all call them black people, but then y'all call the people that don't look like me white people. He ain't knowing it had nothing to do with the genetics. It had everything to do with invaders, the white man, chest turn. Black is the defenders, chest turn. In legalese, the descriptive analysis, black is civilly mortis. Why? Because we presume dead and lost at sea. How are we dead and lost at sea when we own the land? Well, where did they get a salvage right from? The salvage right gave rise to the squatter rights, which allowed people to just go set up shop on somebody's land like it was theirs. That was the squatter rights. That was issued as an addendum, right, to the salvage right. What is the salvage right? The right to recover the lost property. Right? Who is the lost property? The jewels of God. We God's jewelry. But it ain't the men. It ain't the men. And the part about it that most people can't swallow is the real God man is the God man that's man enough to tell you God a woman. Always have been, always gonna be. You can dress all of these precepts and drag as much as you want. You still not gonna make them be the God woman. Because they don't got no uterus. They don't got no portal. They disqualified from the function by prostate reference. They was denied the uterus. So they gave them a prostate to replace it.
Okay. They who? They gave him a prostate to replace them. Who's they?
The women that created the men.
Hey. Okay.
The women that created it. Because when God made man in his image, then God is a woman. Man is just a woman inside out.
Yeah.
The coochie fell out. That's why they be acting like they coochie fell out. That's why some of them be acting like bitches.
Okay. Chief, under the matriarchy, men are respected. Is that correct?
Yeah. Men is the strong arm of the matriarch. It's just like daddy at home. Right? But daddy is really at home. Daddy about that life.
Okay.
Daddy thug style. Daddy would bust a cap in your ass about this wife and these babies.
Oh, yeah.
And the sad part about it is you don't know he taught the whole team to be a shooter. So you don't know where the bullet gonna come from in this gathering of old men. You leave the family alone. We important too. Yeah. But there's just that the proper structure for the correct reclamation of the land ties to the earth's contract of the gender of female. You gotta remember Earth is female. Luna is female.
Yes.
The other controlling moon, Lilith, is female. Right? So the dominant forces of the earth is feminine. From the dark feminine to the light feminine.
Absolutely.
So when you resurrect from the darkness and step into the light, you got the knowledge of both. But if you live all your life walking in the light, you won't never know what it's like to be exposed to the dark.
Wow.
And that's why we end up going through struggle. Struggle is the weightless in this life force resistance exercise. You can't improve who you is unless you go do something that compels you to change.
Right.
Struggle is the fertilizer. It fertilizes the propensity to change.
Thank you, Chief. Do you have any time to answer some questions, Chief?
Yeah, we have a few questions.
Okay. Somebody wants to know, Chief, do we need to sign paperwork? Do we need paperwork?
That's a trap.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you out the gate. When they get to telling you that you're gonna be sovereign if you sign this paperwork, first of all, sovereigns don't use paperwork. They dictators. So in your sovereign capacity, you dictate who you is to the public.
Wow.
Okay. You don't need no paperwork. Your family know who you are. They the ones who legitimizes you on the land when you from the land. And then if you what they call an immigrant, a tribe gonna adopt you. We don't have orphans.
Oh, wow.
Nobody is supposed to be separate without a tribe on the land. Everybody got to tie into a tribe.
Wow. Okay.
So when everybody tied into the tribe, remember, we didn't have grocery stores. So the goal is to be able to make sure that under the matriarchy, the first three things that the government is responsible for is food, clothing, and shelter. Everybody had to have equal access to food, clothing, and shelter.
Okay.
Ain't no such thing as homeless because we ain't had it before they came while we got it now.
Right. Okay.
Wasn't no such thing as a criminal because we ain't had no crime, but all of a sudden we got it now.
Right.
We ain't had no prisons. They turned all our castles into state buildings, prisons, and mental institutions. We didn't need it before they came. Why we need it now? They turned us against each other like rabid dogs. And then they call themselves peacekeepers in the name of the goddamn law. And all the time, the police is the occupying foreign agency. All police charters go right back to London, England. The operational handbook for all police go right back to London, England.
Wow.
They not from here. But they use the people from here to delude us into believing they are legitimately here. Using us against us. So the police, you see whole police forces is quit.
Yeah. All across America.
Yeah. And now you see the National Guard moving in. I've been told them it was going to happen. Right? And the sheriff's going to be start arresting a lot of the people that's calling themselves police. And then they're going to be given three options. Do you want to remain a police officer? That's option number one. Option number two, would you like to be deputized and be a sheriff deputy? Okay. Or would you like to take your pension and get the fuck on?
Okay.
And some of them is so power hungry with the badge, they gonna want to be the police. That's how they gonna know who to execute.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Chief. Another person, Gary asks, is this why Q and the Q movement said that the end will not be for everyone, meaning that people are not psychologically ready for melanated Americans to take their proper place?
Yeah, well, they gonna be real uncomfortable because we don't give a fuck what they ready for. They about to get it. We not asking nobody for nothing.
Got that right.
We don't owe them nothing. They owe us everything. So we back for everything they owe. They just so happen to owe us everything. So we want it all. Brand new socks and drawers, the whole shebang.
But under this new regime, I have a feeling that because we are loving people, we're going to treat people with love and kindness. Doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you can, abide by,
And
the law.
yeah,
Peace,
that's
right?
all of the ones that's going to be allowed to stay, because all of the ones that was guilty of the dirt, we got the same remorse for them they had for us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. While we was cooking on pylons of stacked up wood to a crisp, that's the same mercy we got for the traitors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be some good people that's going to have to do some real horrible stuff to some real wicked people.
Yeah.
And I hope I get to lead the charge, because I ain't got no remorse for them. I got the same remorse they had for us.
Yeah.
When we was minding our business and they decided to come over here and take something from us without even asking, then we would have gave them everything.
Mm.
And if they came in love and truth, then you came in deception and trickery. Ran a whole David Copperfield psychological operation on all of the people.
So did.
You told them that the elephant disappeared. We know the elephant ain't going no goddamn where.
Mm.
She's still there. Matriarch, I can hear her trunk when she roar. So I know she's still there.
Mm.
But you just used some trickery, and I ain't finna try to figure out the trick, because I know it's a trick. But it was entertaining while it lasted.
Mm.
Are you not entertained?
Yes, indeed. Somebody asked, do we have to do anything to get our wealth? And another person asked, how will we get it? How is this coming to us? What do we have to do?
So remember, I told you they know who we all are.
Right.
And they know that when they took over, which big mamas was in charge of what region of the land.
Okay.
So they're going to trace back to that big mama, depending on the region and when it got took over. And then they're going to follow that line down the mother line through the women. They're not going to trace your Y chromosome for heritable land rights. Then they're going to reach out to the individuals that is the eldest female of the bloodlines that come off that particular grandmother to form a tribal structure unit. They know who we all are.
Wow.
That's what we're not getting. They know who everybody is, individual by individual basis. We are all on fire.
That's deep.
And then they got repositories of additional information in state parks around the land where they've stored our records at from pre-Columbian era. Because we wasn't allowed access to our own information. That's why they was able to give us the amnesia as children.
Okay.
Because we don't have our information to teach. Because they miseducating children on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Your seminary schools that became your school system. They did it on purpose. The hardest part for us to realize is this was a war effort. And none of this stuff was haphazard. It was all done deliberately, willfully, with malicious